Just waiting for her filled me with happiness. I had truly entrusted my whole heart to her. We were inextricably connected, at least in my mind. My heart would dance from the faintest of Tuko's reactions, and storm at the most trivial of her words. My footsteps were light as I headed to the student council room to wait for Tuko. I could hear voices behind the trees on my way over, like small breaths that seemed to lightly graze the surface of my ear. It was strange that I could hear them from such a far distance. This had happened in the past, too. That time, I hadn't recognized the voices, so I wasn't able to react. But today was different. The voices grew more distinct as I approached the corner of the school building, and I peered around against my better judgment. When I saw Toku turn towards my direction, and the back of a boy in front of me, I immediately hid. This certainly was the scene of a confession. I guess this is the designated spot for it now, I thought absently. You have nothing to apologize for. Toku looked sheepish as the boy lowered his head in apology. It seemed that she had already turned down his confession. The boy started babbling as though to save face, saying things like that he really wasn't a good match for Toku, or that he had overreached. Toku stopped him before he could go on further. That's not the issue. It's not you, or that we are a bad match. It's just... Toku spoke with a clear smile that wasn't fitting for the moment of rejection. I don't intend to fall in love with anyone. That reply from Toku seemed to reach right past the boy to strike me directly. Once the boy gave a final bow of his head and left, Toku breathed out a deep sigh. Her shoulders slumped, as though the nervousness were leaving her. As she looked down, her lips mumbled soundlessly. It almost looked like she was murmuring, "I wonder why." Eventually, Toku straightened herself up and pulled the strap of her bag over her shoulder as she left. Watching her go, I exhaled a sigh and slumped down, as if mimicking her actions. I slowly closed my eyes and recalled Toko's voice. Not with anyone. I leaned against the wall of the school building as I lamented. The sentiment was at once accompanied by a relief and a certain contradictory sadness. I wonder what kind of relationship I sought with Nanami Toko. Was it a bond far stronger than I could possibly hope to achieve? I tried to say it out loud, but although no one was around to hear, my face felt hot with shame. Just imagining that I might end up telling Toko about his feelings someday made me feel dizzy. Toko. Oh! It suddenly dawned on me. I needed to get to the student council room before Toko. I had told her I would be waiting. I started running from the building. I remembered Toko running ahead of me during marathon training in PE. Still, surely my running would be faster than her walking. I wondered just how long it had been since I had last run as fast as I could over the ground. My breath bobbed along with the strap of my bag on my shoulder as I quickly ran to get the student council room ahead of her. Just as I saw the student council room coming into sight, I thought I heard footsteps behind me, so I turned, and my jaw dropped. Toko was running towards me. She was gaining more and more on me, shortening the distance between us. At first, I tried to speed up and move faster, but then I came to my senses. If she had seen me, didn't that mean there was no need to run anymore? Toko overtook me as soon as I slowed down. Instead of going straight to the student council room, though, She traced the wide arc and came back around. She wasn't even short of breath as she stopped in front of me. What? What is it? I panted. I saw you running, so I thought something might have happened. Tuko was grinning with satisfaction at having caught up to me. Nothing's wrong? No. So you were just running for no reason? Unable to admit otherwise, I stayed silent. Tuko nodded thoughtfully. I guess that does happen sometimes. Does it though? I wasn't sure why Tuko accepted my lack of explanation so easily. The lie of omission left an unpleasant taste in my mouth. Did you have something you needed to do, Sayaka? She must be referring to why I hadn't reached the student council room yet. I've thought of easy, believable replies. Like, yeah, or just a little. But I wasn't accustomed to lying without hesitation. I was all too aware that I was a bad liar, so I decided to be honest. I'm sorry, the truth is, I was watching while you were being confessed to, Toko. Before, when Toko asked me what I would do in a situation like this, I had replied that I wouldn't say anything. Now, I was doing just the opposite. I suppose sometimes you don't know how you'll react to a situation until it actually happens. You end up thinking with your heart and with your gut. Once I confessed to my crime, Toko turned around and put her finger to her face. I see. It was the same place where Serizawa and Ogake-kun were, so were you hiding in the shadows? She'd even correctly guessed my hiding place. When I nodded, Toko turned forward again, her lips pursed a bit sulkily. Not many people go through there, but I guess the student council officers would overhear things. I wonder if everyone would stop trying to confess in that spot if they knew. Well, yeah, I imagine so. Still, it's not as if I was going to hide it from you anyway, Sayaka. But I suppose he would probably prefer it to be a secret, hmm? So let's keep this between us. Tuko put her index finger up to her lips. I mimicked the gesture back to her, but I didn't really understand what exactly we were trying to keep a secret. I heard voices, so I just went over without thinking. So you couldn't help it, huh? I did the same thing last time, so it's not like I can judge. Toko grinned like a mischievous kid. I only rarely caught glimpses of such childlike moments from her, and during those times, I always turned my gaze away, overcome by my feelings for her. She was so dazzling, I couldn't look at her directly. I need to be more careful about that spot next time someone confesses to me. Right. I felt like I was close to being overwhelmed by Nanami Toko. Who else could rightfully worry about such a thing? Next time. As if realizing what she had said, Toko paused and questioned her own prediction. I wonder if there will be a next time. Of course there will. I don't think I'd ever been so sure about something that had to do with someone else. You're Nanami Toko, after all.